Hi guys, this is the WinBeta Podcast. I'm your host today, Sean Michael, and I'm here with Zach. Say hello, Zach.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest Microsoft and Windows related news. We're going to start off the show with some big news about 6discover and some of the legal battles that Rudy might get into. Windows 10 for small tablets, Office for phones, and some sales in the UK. And we'll close off with some nice banter about Bing now being able to translate slang into English, which I hope to see some of in the live stream by the end of the show. So we'll go ahead and get off on the right foot with the biggest news of the day. Right foot for us news-wise, wrong foot apparently for Mr. Is it Hun or Hune?
I don't know.
It's French also, so we're learning today how to pronounce Oleg, one of our listeners, which is spelled in a way that I couldn't tell. And Rudy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But in any event, they're getting into some legal trouble here, and it's about their new app, 6discover. So for those of you who don't know, Rudy's probably one of the most followed app developer on the Windows platform. He's behind what is now the official Dropbox app, but he also makes his wonderful line of 6 apps, and this is the sixth app. Sorry saying that 6 times fast. And basically what it does is it shows the... it's just like Snapchat, but for, well, I don't know, I haven't used it. I'm a Windows Phone user. I don't have Snapchat. And I wouldn't use it anyway.
What is Snapchat, Sean? I don't know what such app is.
I'm still looking for a good way that people could use Snapchat. And apparently that's what Discover tries to do, because big networks, this is, I guess, the letter that was sent to him, or probably an email, to be honest. Snapchat's media partners whose content is featured on the Discover page include, and this according to that letter, CNN, Comedy Central, Cosmopolitan, Daily Mail, ESPN, Food Network, National Geographic, People, Vice, Yahoo News, and Warner Music. And their beef is that they own the rights to that, and so Rudy does not have the right or legal standing to make an app that shows those sorts of things. So this is just developing today. We don't even have up a story about it yet. We're probably still working on it just now, and I'm sure by the time this is out, we will have a story. But it's some deep water. But before we get into that, let's just get into opinion. Then we'll probably talk about more legal stuff. Zach, what do you think about this?
Well, we all know that what's his name? Who runs Snapchat?
Is it Eric?
Evan Spiegel.
Okay,
that guy.
Yeah. The CEO of Snapchat.
The CEO of Snapchat has some serious beef with the Windows Phone platform. He doesn't like it. And to be fair, I feel like this is more him deliberately not putting anything Snapchat related onto the Windows Phone platform. I mean, because it's very easy, because Rudy is his first name, right?
Yeah.
Rudy, the developer. He's a good developer. He develops really high quality apps. He did it for Dropbox, and I'm sure he's done it for a lot of others. Snapchat, if they really wanted him to, they could just go, could you develop this for us? We'll say it's official. There you go. They don't have to touch it, and everybody's happy. Snapchat are deliberately telling him he can't have any Snapchat client or Discover client on the Windows Phone platform. The Snapchat just have something against Windows Phone, and that's my opinion on it. There's no real reason for them to be threatening legally against him. They could work together, but they're not. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a perfect example. By the way, just finished this story for those listening live. Kareem just finished the story. He's in the live stream. And I agree. From like a good guy perspective, from a working together perspective, I think this is another, particularly because Rudy would be so willing to help out. And I'm sure develop, it's just like he did for Dropbox, develop the official app and everything. I think from a legal standpoint, they actually have some ground to stand on, I guess I'd say. It's like you can't govern people being jerks or not. Like they're just going to, like, you can't make enough laws. And so, I don't know. I think they have some rights because they own the rights to the content, and their big beef that they've said is the app doesn't give the analytics needed to change the brands correctly and that sort of thing. So, I don't know. I mean, there's some issues from their perspective, from a legal end, but I don't think, like you said, I don't think that's the real reason for this.
It's not. I just think the guy, bit of a douchebag, No offense. I mean, I'm not the only person that said. I mean,
Can we say that?
I hope iTunes don't kick us off iTunes now. They won't kick us off iTunes. But,
they're listening.
they listen to every one of our podcasts. No, but he's just a bit of a. No, well, yes.
Not a nice fellow.
Nah, he seems to be a bit. I mean, there was a story. I can't remember which site wrote it. Outing him, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I read that too. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, he's not a nice fellow. So
I don't know. I mean, I think it's at this point I think a lot of companies are not involved with Windows Phone because they just don't want to be.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. People say market share and that sort of thing. That's not true in a lot of cases. Like, I'll give you a good example. WhatsApp is super up to date on Windows Phone. And WhatsApp is really popular internationally. Well, you know who does pretty well internationally is WhatsApp, because like here in the UK, I can message my family in the States. It acts just like text messaging through WhatsApp. Super popular internationally, worldwide. I think they have 700 million users now. It's just an absurd number.
Yeah.
And it's great, and I love that. And they support Windows Phone. Are they the biggest market share in the world? But no. But if 50 million people want to pay you $1 a year, that's $50 million, my friend. Like, somebody is going to get that money. And so, especially with something like Snapchat, that's not like a U.S. exclusive app. That's not Bank of America, which I used over here, but I can understand why you don't try to cater certain apps to an international marketplace. Snapchat's not like that. That'd be like if Facebook said we don't care about Australia. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
so I think it's like a vendetta by some of these developers, and I just don't understand.
I mean, I understand when like a small development team are like, oh, we don't have the resources. I understand that, because let's be fair, to a really small development team, say the HipChat, we use HipChat for communicating. Their team's not the biggest team in the world, and they're saying they're working on Windows stuff, but it's going to take some time. So yeah. I understand. No, I understand when a small team says, "Oh, we don't have the resources." That's fine. But when a multi-million-dollar company says, "No, we don't have the resources," it's like, I think you do. I think you do.
Resources. I got copy and paste. I'll do it for them. I'll just call up Rudy.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a checkbook.
You can even hire people outside the company to do it for you.
Amazingly, you can do that when you make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Team Gnome says anyone who uses Snapchat deserves a horrible experience. I agree. I don't. I mean, everybody I know, or I say everybody, a lot of people I know are on Snapchat, and I just don't understand why.
I'm still trying to find the appropriate use for a messaging service that immediately deletes things. Sounds like it's for a lot of dodgy stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. I'm not a heavy user.
Text and Facebook Messenger meets all my needs. Yeah.
Anyway. All right, well, that's enough about, I guess, the legal thing. We'll have more on that, too. Not only Kareem's article, which you can read right after this, but also any other late-breaking developments we'll have. I'm sure Rudy will keep us up to date on that. Our next is about Windows 10 for small tablets. Zach, do you want to talk about that a bit?
Sure. So this week we posted an article detailing or showing off an early build of Windows 10 for small tablets, and the screenshots are pretty much just Windows Phone, the Windows Phone UI, but blown up for tablets, which isn't something. This isn't a surprise. Was this a surprise to you? Because the Windows Phone already reaches 6 inches, and for small tablets, it's only going to 7 inches, so it's only an extra inch in size. So instead of it being portrait, everything's just landscape now. So more like a tablet experience, I guess. And all the apps work like you would expect. They just, instead of them being portrait, when you turn them landscape, they show you more information, I guess. And if you've used the Windows 10 preview on the desktop, the universal apps work pretty much the same as they do on this Windows 10 for small tablets. So nothing really surprising here, nothing really interesting. Hopefully they show off a more refined build at Build later this month, which will hopefully give us a good look at what they are working on. But if not, this is a good look at the early changes that they're making. And many people are saying this is the Windows RT replacement, which I kind of agree with. Because Windows RT, as we know, is dead. The desktop, right. It doesn't need a desktop, and this version of Windows 10 for small tablets will not have a desktop. It will run universal apps, so the new Office preview, which we will talk about in just a minute. And Any, all the apps you've seen running on the Windows 10 preview that are Windows 10 specific will run on this just fine. So,
yeah, it doesn't look that different to me. I don't study this like you do. You're really good at noticing, this UI changed, and I found, people, they'll read through source code and find things that are mentioned and stuff, and some of these subtle differences, they are beyond me. But to me, it loosely looks like just a big phone, which is good. I think that'll help with the universal experience and scaling as well. It's not some sort of third thing that would make it difficult for developers. So I think it's great. One of the things that you love about well-made Windows apps that scale is that as you add more real estate, you get more information. So like a great example of that's Tweetium. Like when you get a bigger screen, Tweetium actually gives you more info. A poorly made app, when you get a bigger screen, has like empty space or that sort of thing.
Or just blown up.
Yeah, exactly. And so, when you scale, if you had 3 boxes, then you scale and you have 5 or 10 or whatever. And I think having like this is going to make it easier for people because, like you said, it's a pretty similar thing. And I would love to make sure that some people use their tablets portrait and some of them use it landscape. Is that you? I don't know which way you said. Are these really more designed for landscape or portrait?
Tablets, I guess, will be landscape. Yeah, I mean, you can use them in portrait, I imagine, but the screenshots that we posted were landscape photos.
It's interesting because they made the Surface Pro 3. I almost think that they kind of built it towards being able to be in portrait mode because the 3x2.
The Windows 10, where is it? I've got it here. The Windows 10 for phones preview. Most of the universal apps can turn portrait anyway. If we open the settings app, as you'll be able to see here, just look, if you run it like that and turn it that way. It does turn landscape anyway, so the functions are built in already. They're just you need the hardware to utilize it, I guess.
Oh, good. Now you mentioned that in your article, I believe, about how grandfathering in and that sort of thing. Can you touch on?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain that a bit?
There was a lot of confusion about this, and I thought this was widely known already. But existing 7-inch tablets will be grandfathered with the full version of Windows 10, which means you get the desktop, Win32 access, and whatever else. So if you've got a HP Stream 7, which I do somewhere over there, you will get full Windows 10. This is only for new 7-inch tablets. So if an OEM starting, I guess, later this year can release a 7-inch Windows tablet with this new version of Windows 10 for small tablets. And I guess you can use cheaper specs because the operating system isn't as heavy, so you can lighter specs and stuff. So overall, cheaper hardware, cheaper things, and a better experience, I guess, maybe for small tablet users. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I think that's a great idea. Can you imagine how upset some people would be if they said, "No, I bought a Windows tablet that was a 2-in-1 and had a desktop, and now I don't have a desktop anymore"? Like, I'm sure that would upset a lot of people.
I mean, Joe Belfiore did tweet this. Did they mention it in the January 21st event as well? I don't remember, but they did
about
tweet
the
saying...
Continuum?
Yeah, they did tweet out saying existing tablets will get the full Windows 10. So that's official from Microsoft. That's not just coming from sources. That's official from the company.
Right. Well, and it should be that way, though. Like, my girlfriend has an 8-inch tablet. Now, that's not sub 8, so I don't know how they draw the line there, but I would hate it. I bought that knowing that she could also use full desktop things on it. And so I would hate it if upgrading to Windows 10 took that away. So I think that's pretty smart to grandfather it in, because then people who buy a new device know what they're getting into and no one gets kind of surprised or taken advantage of.
What I do wonder is whether this small tablet's operating system will be the upgrade for Windows RT users. Because they're getting an update.
Can it run on RAM devices?
Yes, it should be able to run on ARM devices.
Then I would sure hope. I would sure hope that Surface RT and the Lumia, was it 1320?
Technically, it would be a downgrade because it does lose the desktop functionality and other things. But then again, you do get, in replace of that, you do get Universal Office, Universal Windows 10 apps, and Universal universes. So.
Universal universes.
You get the Windows 10 experience just on a more limited platform. Can I say that? Limited platform? Yeah. I guess I can say limited.
I guess, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
Windows says Zach is always drinking, and Team Them says the question is what? Pure vodka, baby. Pure vodka.
I'm fairly certain it's water, or he'd get worse as the podcast went on.
I do get worse when the podcast goes. By the end of it, I can't talk. I'm already slowing down now.
Well, maybe before you slow down too much, maybe we can move on to the Office for Phones news for the last week.
Oh boy, yes, let's talk about Office for Phones preview. So those who are running the Windows 10 preview already have access to a preview of the new Universal Office apps, the PowerPoint, Excel, and Word apps. They're fairly old now. I don't think they've been updated in a long time. But guess what? The Windows 10 for Phones preview users are going to get a preview of Office Universal apps later this month, which they will focus on modern productivity, business intelligence, and IT control, whatever that means. The new Office apps will incorporate a better backstage experience to make using cloud services easier, will include business intelligence advancements and Power Query built right into Excel, and include new data loss prevention features to manage credit card and other sensitive information, which all sounds very businessy. So I don't know what I just said, but yeah.
In other news, our podcasters listeners are now asleep. What's up?
Wake up! But yeah, no. These new apps, again, just universal. They look a lot like the desktop ones, just, again, shut down. It's the same story every time when we talk about Sorry, not Universal. What are they called? Windows apps.
Windows apps.
Yeah. It's the same story every time we talk about these Windows apps. Same code, pretty much. UI differs slightly depending on screen size. Functionality, usually the same. Happy days for everybody.
I think it's great that they have some of those being updated preview, that sort of thing, just because I mean, I use Office on my Windows Phone now, but I still don't see myself doing like super heavy editing, but in a crunch, it would be nice to have some more features about that sort of thing. And so, I don't know, I think that if you have Windows for Phone or Office for Windows Phone, make editing easier. I think that they said they moved some of the editing tools down to the bottom, so you can use it with like one thumb.
Yeah.
And that's really nice.
And it's a richer editing experience now.
Yeah.
Unlike the current one, which is not very rich at all.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think that it's, if it makes it easier, I love how well it integrates. It's one of the biggest things about Office is when they integrate it well with phones, it really does change the experience. Office Lens just extended to Android. And you look at just like little things like that, they really make the Office experience better. And I think it's in Windows' best interest to have a good version of Office on every device.
Yeah. And Team Gnome says, Windows Phone will finally catch up to iOS and Android. Technically true, which is sad, but yeah.
I think it's kind of odd. Someone brought up this week, I think they tweeted that they said it's odd that they have considered Android apps as a fix with how much they support iOS.
Well, because iOS, you can't run an iOS app on anything else because of the closed platform. But Android, you can sort of do it. So I imagine they would have gone with iOS if they could. Yeah,
it's a shame that there's so much backbiting. It's like, I just got a new phone this week. We won't take up time on the podcast. If you stick around after, if you want like advice on buying Lumia phones, I know some people have questions about that. I got like the Lumia 640 this week. It's really nice. I like it so far. Glance screen and everything.
Are you using it as your primary?
It's my only phone right now.
Oh, nice. What are you doing with the 930s? It's just sitting in a drawer.
Just sitting there in a drawer. Well, it's on my desk.
You should put the 10 preview. Oh, you can't.
I can't. Yeah, no. After I'm done with the review, I'd consider switching. But in any event, I like my phone. My friends go, "Oh, that looks like a nice phone. Oh, that's a nice phone." My girlfriend likes the phone. I shouldn't have to defend it. There shouldn't be this big battle about getting apps and Snapchats, and it's just like I just did like a full feature on comparing all the Lumias. They're great devices. Like the hardware for Windows Phone is really solid. Like the Lumia 1520 today is still like up to snuff with just about any phone on the market.
I mean, I've mentioned this before. When I was testing out the 635 with Windows 10 on its own, I actually really liked the 635 hardware, and that was coming from an actual 930. So when I went, and with the 830 as well, I was also torn with going back to the 930 because I really liked the hardware. So it's not all about hardware in the end. It's about the experience you get on the phone. And with Windows Phone, it's all the same, really. No matter what device you get, the Windows Phone, the experience is never really that different from this device to this device to those devices that I have there. and whatever else. So
I still need a photo of you like this with all your Windows.
I'm gonna drop them once to do it. Oh wait, hang on. Not even the right way.
Well, while you figure that out, I would say, yeah, once you get to the 640 or higher, the 435 and 540, they are missing some features. At least in my opinion. You're reviewing the 435 right now, so you might have more.
Oh yeah, I need to start that review. Don't tell Ron.
Once you get to the 640, you get a ton of the same features, and like you said, the hardware is a little different. The processor's slower. You lose some things like Hey Cortana, which needs a Snapdragon 800 to run. But in all reality, I think Windows Phone, the hardware is quite impressive. The operating system, there's that photo. Somebody screen grab that. There you go, a lead image for all of us. And I think it's great. And I think the operating system is really solid, especially on low-end devices. Runs obviously then well on high-end devices. Yeah. But you really, it's a shame that the experience isn't always what it could be in terms of apps and some of the other features. I wish that wasn't an issue. I think Windows Phone would do a lot better if it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, one of the issues right now with Windows Phone is that there's no flagship. It's not a true flagship. The 930 is their current flagship, but it's just a reused icon, which was released like a year before the 930 came out anyway. So it's sporting 3 years old specs now. Is it 20? When did it come out? It's 2015 now.
Honestly though, like I said, I just did. You can go find it. I just did an entire feature on comparing every one of the latest Lumias. So from the latest from the 500, 400, 600, 700 lines, et cetera, and the 1520 is still basically it's the best Windows Phone by almost any measure. It has the best processor, the second highest pixel density. It has every feature from double tap to glance to Hey Cortana. It's got a good camera. It's got a good battery life and everything. And it's amazing to me, the 1520 is a 6-inch device that's years old. If they had made a 930 or a 940 at the time, instead of the current 930, and just had made it a smaller 1520, but like a year or two ago, I think that would have been fine as a flagship device. And 930 is close. Battery's not as good. Honestly, it's pretty bad now once I switched to the 640. The battery life really is a big difference. And then it doesn't have glance, which I think is just silly. It has amazing PPI. The pixel density is like 441 PPI, which is almost 100 more than any other Lumia.
On the what?
But on the 930.
Oh, yeah. I was
it's
about
great.
The 640. I was going to say, whoa.
No, 640 is good. But I'm saying, sorry, the 930 is, but to me, they need to market it. It needs to be available on every carrier, and it needs to be called the flagship, and then people actually believe it.
I mean, it's too late now. They've got to actually release a new handset. They can't just say, oh, yeah, the 930, remember that device? Yeah, we're releasing it on more carriers now. They can't do that.
That would help, but
it
wouldn't fix it.
It's too late.
It wouldn't fix it.
Hopefully at Build we hear about a 940 and a 940 XL or whatever else.
I don't think they'd do a 940 XL. I think that'd be a 1530, don't you?
Yeah, maybe. You might be.
I mean, if you made the highest end 6-inch device, it would probably be a successor to the 1520.
They could do a 5.5 and a 5-inch 940 though, couldn't they?
I guess. I don't know. Is there a big market for 5.5-inch phones? Is it like 6 is too big, but 5 is too small? I have to have 5.5 inches.
I don't know. But, okay, guess just a 940 on its own then. with 3D technology and whatever else. Because
I don't know what a 1530 would have that a 1520 doesn't.
I imagine it would have, like, holographic capabilities.
Oh, like what was that rumored Windows phone?
The McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which got cancelled. I feel like they just delayed it. So
maybe
actually they probably did cancel it and just rework some of its features into the 940 and stuff. Hopefully, I just want them to come out at Build and unveil this magical new device which just blows every other device out the water. And then they go, it runs Windows 10. So if you want to buy this device, you have to sign up for Windows 10.
I would also say they probably from like a we've talked about this before. We don't need to make a whole podcast on it. Flagships need to be about marketability, highest end features, competition with other flagships for premier features. Even if it becomes overpriced at the time, I don't think people recognize this. The Lumias of the mid-range now had similar specs to Lumias of the high end before. So when you release high end phones with really expensive features, those trickle down within a year or two or three to mid-range and then eventually low-end phones. I mean, you look at like the Lumia 640 is a relatively low-end device, especially compared, and you see the features on it are very respectable. If you put this back in time, like 2 years, you'd put this up against almost anything.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, I would say that. And so when you have high-end flagship devices, it's almost like premiering features, like Apple Pay for the iPhone. It's like, no, it'd be like Windows Pay. Like, even if no one used the thing, it's just we have it and we know how to use it. I think that'd be good. Yeah. Man, we got here from Office.
Don't question where we come from.
We were talking about Office. Like, how did we get to this?
Moving right along, to the next story, which is, what is it? Microsoft banned UK launch. I think this is your story, Sean.
Yeah, it is. I realized, I was like, how did we get to flagship discussions?
We wanted to talk about a band, god damn it.
We wanted to, no, I mean it. I went to PC World, or Curry's PC World, which is basically, how do I describe it? It's like if you combined a Best Buy with like you don't call them whiteware, like fridges and washing machines. I mean, I know to me, it was really weird to kind of like, oh, over there's a Surface Pro 3, and there's cameras, there's cell phones, and there's a refrigerator. But like, whatever, that's what it is. And
no, you're absolutely right. It's just more of an electronics shop. So anything electrical you can find in there.
Exactly, and it's a good store. I mean, there's one by my house, and there's one by my girlfriend's house, and I go to both of them. They're good stores, but. Anyway, they have a display right up front. You walk right into the store because that's where they have their fitness band section. And the Microsoft band is just there. I tried it on. It's really nice. I would want one, but I'm saving up for other things right now. But, Zach, you have one. What are your impressions? You've had this for how long now?
I got it Wednesday. So...
What time on Wednesday?
Late Wednesday. Too late to be happy about it. I hate the company that delivers products from Microsoft. I actually hate. They are the worst service delivery company I've ever used. So, every time I pre-order from I'm reluctant to pre-ordering from the Microsoft store now because of them. Every time I'm like, do I want to go through the monstrosity that is? I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to shame them. But if you follow me on Twitter, I shame them all the time. So. But yeah, no, I hate it. But it finally arrived like 3 hours after it was supposed to arrive, and everybody had theirs in the morning, and everybody was tweeting me saying, "Hey, guess what I've got, and guess what you don't have." I was like, oh.
Did I tweet you a picture of me wearing it?
No.
Oh, I think I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
You know, I'm actually surprised they had them in your store because the Currys where I live, they have a dedicated Google Chromebook area. They're like a big area in their stores dedicated to the Google Chromebook and Android stuff. And then they've got like a Windows bit. No Windows tablets at all in there.
I'm telling you, the PC World Curry's in Nottingham, like near the city center. It has Surface Pro 3s. It's got a whole Windows section, PCs, Microsoft band right up front. Like they're pretty Windows friendly there.
But yeah, no, mine's.
You heard the wrong. It's called PC World. It ain't called Mac World.
It's called Currys and PC World.
Well, that's fine, but half of it's called PC World. Here's
the thing. I'll tell the story of Currys and PC World. They were once separate stores. You had a Currys, and then you had a PC World. Currys was more of the fridges side. Fridges and microwaves and cookers. Then you had PC World, which was rather obviously more about PCs and TVs and stuff. One day they said to each other, let's combine shops. And now you have Currys PC World, in which you can buy fridges and laptops at the same time. It's a match.
But you know what? Honestly, I'll go into there, and because you go shopping. I go shopping with my girlfriend, and sometimes I want to go to a store that she's not that interested in. The same way, the other way around, and it's great. We go into PC World Craze. I go to the right, and it's like tech and gizmo and gadgets, and she goes to the left and looks at I don't know. They don't really have too many. I mean, I looked at the new fridge models the other day, but it's not a computer, which she has very little interest in checking out. So it's kind of cool. Maybe they could do that with more stores. They'd be like on the right, it's a sporting goods store, and on the left, it's something that that people who hate sports might actually enjoy. Well, I just got a new follower, and I think it's one of our listeners.
Well, there you go. But circling back to the Microsoft Band, what makes me annoyed is that you could have got a Microsoft Band before me, even though I pre-ordered 3 months before it was out.
I was there at like 11 a.m. and it was there.
I didn't get mine till like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Is it worth admitting? There was one on display. I can't guarantee they had any for sale. I mean, they could have sold out. I don't know. It could have been just display and then you order online.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I didn't ask because I wasn't going to buy one that day. Do you like it though? I mean, we don't have a lot of writers at WinBeta that actually own a Microsoft Band. Do you enjoy it?
I do. I like it, but I'm not an exercise guy. I don't go to the gym. I don't run about usually.
Which is why you got a great fitness device.
Exactly. So I'm one of the few people who are using the Microsoft Band as more of an actual smartwatch. And don't get me wrong, the ability to track your steps and check your heart rate is cool, and the calories. I've lost 1,500 calories. Not too bad. I've made, how many steps did I make today? 3,496. It's good to know, but I love being able to text from this.
Do you use the keyboard?
I do use the keyboard, and it's surprisingly easy to use. Surprisingly easy.
Can you show us? Is that possible?
I'll try and show you. Just take it off because it'll be easier to show you. So, see if I can get this up. So this is what the keyboard. It's not going to focus. I know it's not. That's the keyboard.
That looks really small, but then they combine it with WordFlow.
It's tiny, but look how fast I can type on it. So you don't. There's no WordFlow. Oh, is there? No, there's no WordFlow. No, there's not. You got to tap the letters.
No, there's.
You good though? But hear me out. So I'm going to say the quick brown fox. So let's see. Actually, it's probably easier if I type on my wrist. So let me put it back on. I'm going to type from my wrist and watch how fast I can type, and I'll show you. I'll probably make a couple of mistakes, but it's easy to edit the words. So the quick brown fox. Okay, so that's done. Okay, it did it a bit wrong. The rock brown fix, but if I click on the words, I can change them easily to the quick brown fox. So as you can see there, now change the quick brown fox, and then I can send that off, and that will go away. So it's actually surprisingly easy to fix your mistakes and type on the keyboard, and you can do it fairly fast as well. And you've also obviously got the 1, 2, 3, so you can do numbers, and you've also got miscellaneous characters. And yeah, it's an okay key. I think it's the only smartwatch that has a keyboard that you can text from, right? If you don't like the keyboard,
I guess you're right.
You can also
you're right.
You can also use Cortana. So I'm just say hi Cortana, and it will think, and then it will just put what you say into words and send it off like that.
Right. I don't know. Are you sure that there isn't WordFlow either coming or that's already happened?
Say that again.
Are you sure there isn't WordFlow?
Oh, I just tried it. I cannot swipe words.
Huh. I could have swore I read that somewhere, but maybe I'm just insane. Have you gotten all the latest updates and everything?
Yep, I updated it when I got it out. I mean, you have to, otherwise you don't.
All right, well, maybe I'm just nuts.
Team though says, does it autocorrect the F word to duck? I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to try. Give me a sec. I'm not going to show you if it does. So ready? It changed it to IDK. That's strange. Oh no, it did it. It definitely did it. So
anyway,
there you go.
Is it bulky for you? It seemed a bit big for me.
It's a tad bulky, I admit. It's not the thinnest of devices in the world. That's what it looks like, I guess, going down my wrist. A tad bulky. I imagine if they make another one, which I imagine they will, it'll be a lot thinner. I would hope so. Which is the one I would have, because I didn't get a chance to play with it before I bought it. Not saying that I regret buying it. I do love it, but if I was to, if I knew that they were coming out with a thinner one, I would have waited and got the thinner one.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of at the point there now, because it's about once a year they come out with new devices.
They announced this in October or November last year, so the summer, I guess, and then a new one.
Yeah, if it was the same thing, a little thinner. I think it's because there's a lot of battery, a lot of internals. There's a ton of sensors in the Microsoft Band, so it's understandable.
Yeah, but I really do like it. Being able to just so many times I've just had my phone in my pocket, and I'm fairly lazy, so I'll be there on the sofa or something, or the couch, whatever you call it in America. I'll be there, and it's just my wrist will buzz, and I'll be like, oh, there's a text, and I can just tap and reply to simple things or talk to it. I can check my emails, calls, ask Cortana about the weather and stuff, Twitter, Facebook, sleep. I've been measuring my sleep. That's a good thing it does. You can measure your sleep. And apparently I sleep really poorly. Last night I got 5 hours and 45 minutes of actual sleep.
That's pretty terrible.
With an efficiency of 85%. And I woke up 8 times, and I lost 554 calories.
Huh.
So there you go. Oh, is that gained? I don't know how it works, but I do like that.
You lose calories when you sleep. It's great.
Space God says, "What's the tiny TARDIS there before?" It's not tiny. It's actually pretty large. It's about the size of that. So there you go. Sorry, audio listeners who don't know what that is, but
I think we kind of. I mean, audio listeners are still almost outnumbering YouTube watchers, but they probably are missing a few things. Sorry, guys. We'll try not to be as video centric, but obviously we have to cater to all of our viewers. Yeah, I'm excited about the band. I think that's a cool thing going forward. I hope they stock it more and it has some success. I don't think. How did they refer to it on the Bing with Jamil? He said those in Mountain View. Well, I don't know the term that we're supposed to use for the fruit company. Is that it?
The fruit company.
The Fruit Watch.
The guys in Cupertino. Where they're from.
I don't think that it's gonna. I think that's gonna blow it out of the water in terms of sales.
Yeah,
but we already kind of knew that.
The Apple Watch. I mean, overall, an all-round, because the Apple Watch is what you call a smartwatch, whereas the Microsoft band is more of a fitness band.
Now
not in the same realm of.
Now I know that someone from Microsoft, they had a team working on a keyboard on, I think, the Moto 360, where you hand wrote like letters.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like an old Palm Pilot used to you could write there was only like a little box and you had to write in that box the same letters repeatedly. You couldn't go from all the way left to right like you can now. And so it was kind of that idea, and it was like, and then you have handwriting on it, but with a device as small as the Microsoft Band, I don't see that working.
Battery, however, unlike the watch from Cupertino.
The watch from Cupertino.
The battery life on this is great. I've only charged this. I charged it. It dropped to 80% after I'd used it. I'd say I think 4 or 5 hours. Then I charged it, and I haven't actually charged it to 100% yet. But the battery right now is just hitting half, and I haven't charged it since yesterday at about 5 p.m. So we've lost Sean, so I'm just going to keep on going until he comes back. So yeah, the battery life on this seems pretty good. Much better than the Apple Watch, which has 8 hours of battery life, I guess. Have we lost?
I'm still here. Keep going, Zach. Just pretend nothing happened.
Storming on like a trooper. So yeah, the 48 hours they say you can get, but I bet you can get more. I'm gonna test it, see how long you can get. But
that's called editing, folks. The live people will never know, or the non-live people. Anyway,
the live people definitely know.
Yeah, they definitely know. Sorry, guys. In any event, yeah. So Microsoft Band looks like a good thing to me.
Yeah.
Other things on sale in the UK include the Xbox One. Yeah.
It does. Yes, the Xbox One is now. You can get an Xbox. If you haven't got an Xbox One yet, because you've been waiting for the price to drop, you can now get one for just a mere £299 in the UK. A
pittance.
Yes, so just a small amount of money. You can now own current gen, is it? Not next gen now. A current gen console with 30 frames per second of GTA 5 and 900p of whatever the new racing game is coming out. So not even 1080p. But
Forza?
No, it's not Forza. It's a new one, not from Forza people.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they've got a new one, and it's only 900p. So, oops. But
is that a big sale?
What was that?
Do you think it's a big sale? $299. That's pound, by the way.
£209. Yeah, this isn't a US deal. Finally, a UK deal. We never get them in from Microsoft. But yeah, no, it's the cheapest it's been yet, I believe. I don't think you've been able to get a console brand new from Microsoft directly for cheaper yet. So it's I
don't know. I went there the other day to our favorite PC World Curry's. Check out some fridge, look at a microwave, and
the car game was Project Cars, by the way. Thanks, Kevin.
What was that?
The car game I was talking about called Project Cars.
Okay.
Thanks.
And I saw one with a Kinect for $399 and one without a Kinect for I think $349. So I mean, I guess it's a sale. £50 that's enough for a game.
Yeah. I mean, can't you pre-order like the Halo 5 thing for like cheap as well? The Halo 5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you get a bundle, then you get a ton of games. I actually think that, like I said, if you get like the Master Chief Collection, you can get Master Chief Collection and a Kinect, and the deal's only a little bit more than $299. So, I mean, maybe like $1 or $150 more. And so, I mean, for our U.S. listeners, when you convert that to dollars, it actually can add up quite a bit when you start adding hundreds of pounds to things. But anyway, it's a deal nonetheless. I think eventually, they really just want Xbox Ones in people's homes because then they can sell other things. So they're going to keep lowering it as they keep going.
Speaking of deals you can get in the UK right now, if you're looking at a Surface 3, I found this out in the week. If you're looking at a Surface 3 and are a student in the UK, you can actually get the Surface 3 for £377.99, which is a fair bit cheaper than the £429.99, which it's selling for normal people. So, if you're a student looking at the Surface 3, I'd definitely check that out on the Microsoft Store. In the student section, you can pre-order it now. Ships May 5th, is it? Coming out May 5th or May 7th here in the UK.
Yeah. And then they also
have a nice Surface.
It's after Age of Ultron comes out, so I don't think my calendar knows that's a real thing. There are, and then there's also a deal higher. Like if you up a model, they're still on sale. It's not like it's only one specific model.
Yeah, you can get the 128 model for $429. So the price you'd pay for the baseline model as a normal person, you can get as a student the higher end model.
Now, which core are those?
The Intel Atom.
No, I'm sorry. Which model? Like lowest? Because there's how many gigabytes of RAM?
Actually, I don't know. I think it's 4 gigabytes. Let me double check right now. I think actually it might be 2 gigabytes. 2 gigabytes with 64 gig of storage, and the higher model 4 gigabytes with 128 gig of storage.
That's not bad for the 4 gig, 128 of storage for that price. If that's right, that's pretty good.
Gotta find out now. Keep talking.
Don't. For our live stream here, don't kidnap any listeners. Just if you're not a student, then I'm sorry, but they're not going to cater to you with discounts as much. For those, they're huge.
I was right about the models.
Student discounts are really big in the UK. Yeah. Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, that was right. 2 gigabyte with 64 gig storage for £377, and 128 gig of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM for $449.99, not $29. So I think double what you'd pay for the baseline as a normal. But not double, sorry. What am I talking about? It's a bit more than what you'd pay for the normal as a normal person. But you get it cheaper as a student, so...
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely a promising device, so we'll see. I think deals like that help out because it is being marketed directly towards students. It's not being marketed as towards only business people. It's definitely students are a big market for them.
Mm-hmm. So can you not get the student discount in the US?
I think they have some. They just have different deals depending on that sort of thing.
You keep talking. Ken, I'm going to find out if you can get it in the US.
I'd say this for those who don't know: student deals in the UK are everywhere. They're restaurants and they're on buses and passes for buses, and everywhere's got student discounts. I didn't see that as much in the States. I don't know. A comment section. Not just live, we like your comments after the fact too. We do actually check those on Discuss and YouTube. So, if you get student discounts or find any, let us know what you think. Do they have good discounts?
It looks like they might have a discount, but I can't check because apparently I need to give them my details before we can check. So maybe if you're a US citizen and are a student, you may also be able to get a discount on the new Surface 3. You'd have to check that out yourself. But yeah.
Well, they have a student section on Microsoft.com.
Yeah, that's what I was checking, but I can't actually check what they've got at a discount until I prove I am a real US citizen as a student. Sadly, not a US citizen and not a student in the US, so...
I'm not a British citizen, but I can still get student discounts here.
Yeah, because you attend a British school. So
I do attend a British school.
So there you go. I don't attend a US school.
Okay, well, that's probably enough about all that. We have one... Was it the last story of the day? We have one thing that were you the one that actually found this? You found this elsewhere in the
I did. I accidentally found this as well.
So Bing will translate slang into English now?
Yeah, so for the people, I wrote this really terribly. For those who don't understand internet slang, such as your mother's mother, that was in the title, you can now use Bing to translate it. So say, hi, H-A-I, everyone being one, the word one being a one. Dis for this, D-I-S. It translates it all into actual English for you to understand. And it's actually pretty flawless. It works really well. And I was surprised by it because Bing, this is again one of the little things Bing does that they don't openly advertise. There's always, if you use Bing daily, which not many people do, I understand, but if you use Bing daily, there's always every day you'll find a little something that Bing does that just makes you, I don't know, just be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Why doesn't Google do this?
It's more, why don't people respect Bing? You know,
Yeah.
all the time people, oh, Bing, they always joke, no one used Bing. I'm like, 20% searches in the US on desktops are through or are Bing, and then powered by Bing's even more because of Yahoo. They have cool features. People like them for image search. We just had Jamil Valiani, which isn't actually as Italian as I make it sound, and Valiani. And so, but I don't know. Obviously, some people do. I think it's one of those vocal things. It's an easy joke. People are like, oh, ha ha ha, Bing, and I'm like, yeah, you know, they're one of the most used sites in the world. I mean, most used is subject because there's thousands and thousands of sites, and if you're in the top 100, that's pretty good.
And with Twitter uses Bing to translate. So if there's a tweet, someone tweets out in another language that isn't your native, they will try and translate it. And this is how I found out about the feature, because I wrote a tweet saying in before Microsoft accounts hacked, because Microsoft accounts were down. I was only joking about, but I said INB4, which is considered internet slang, and then it said translate this. I was like, what do you mean translate this? I clicked on it, and underneath it said in before, the word in, and then before. And I was like, well, that's really cool. Then I tested it out a bit more and found out about this really cool feature. So I guess we have the Bing team to thank for this handy, because I mean, let's be fair, not all of us are down to earth with the youth these days. I'm not, so definitely thanking Bing for this handy feature.
Yeah, I like Bing. Cool features. I also think that there's a lot of things that they do, and I'm sure Google does as well, that, I mean, Google is confused because it's the whole company. So when Bing does something, it's like, oh, this branch of Microsoft did it. When Google does it, it's the same name as if the search engine or their weather balloons projecting the internet. But yeah, I mean, features like that are nice. And I think, like you said, they're just kind of, it's like another thread in the tapestry that is Bing. Huh. Anyway, so that's it for the stories today, unless you have any other last minute things you want to add.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can talk about this week.
I wrote a story today about hand pose, it works like, I don't know if it's through a Kinect or just similarly to Kinect, and it reads your finger and hand movements instead of just body tracking. And it could be used in the future for interpreting sign language into spoken language.
Oh, wow. That's not bad, is it?
And so that's pretty cool. And also it can be used to control robot hands. So, you know,
Yeah.
if you're into robot hands or American Sign Language or technological revolutions, then you should check out Hand Pose and our story on it.
There's people saying, will somebody switch to Bing because of the translate feature? No. I don't think it's a switch-worthy feature. But it's a good thing to know about, so you can use it when you need to.
Yeah.
Spider-Man
does use Bing. That's a good point. Anyway, before let's close the official like audio YouTube rebroadcast everything podcast. Then we'll stay on for a little bit with our listeners. Please, you know, listen to us however you do. That's best for you. But we do encourage you to check out things like live, because we do give you a different experience with fan feedback. So anyway. This has been the WinBeta Podcast for the week of April 17th. I don't think I said that at the beginning, so sorry, folks. This is the WinBeta Podcast for the week of April 17th. This is our 11th podcast. Can you believe it, Zach?
I've just found out something really amazing with the XPS, whatever it is, the 13. Look, the top right corner, is it the right one? Top left corner. It's magnetic.
Oh, there you go.
Breaking news, it's magnetic. Why
Breaking news, is that it by design or by accident?
I don't know, it's only in that one corner. Oh no, is it in the other corner? No, it's just in the one corner. Only this corner is it magnetic. There you go.
Well, we apologize again to our audio listeners who have missed out on the wonderful discovery by Zach with his XPS 13. We want to thank you guys for listening to the WinBeta Podcast for the week of April 17th. I'm Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK.
You almost forgot your Twitter handle.
Well, it's confusing. Say it out loud. And then
and you can find me at ZachB_, so ZachB_.
And to clarify, Sean, the one holding Olaf right now, Sean. Michael, who was formerly on the podcast, is no longer on the podcast, and he is now not here. So comment section who's somehow confused me with Michael.
It's because your name has Michael in it.
I know it can be confusing, but we are indeed two different people. He is now elsewhere, or probably listening to us live right now. But in any event, we appreciate you for listening. Please make sure to follow WinBeta at winbeta.org on Twitter, on Facebook, Pinterest, Reddit our articles, use
Snapchat. No.
What was that?
Not Snapchat.
I don't think Snapchat. I don't think we're on that yet.
No,
we're not on Discover.
BBM.
Yet, you never know. But in any event, thanks again for listening, and we will see you on the next one.